Welcome to the Shouty Barky Dog-Cast, the podcast where we explore simple ways to bring more calm into life for you and for your dog. I'm your host, Steffi Guy, and today we're talking about how nature can help us to feel less stressed, even when we're stuck indoors. But first, let's go over the rules of participation, which are simple. Number 1, do as much or as little as you feel able. Number 2, you know your dog better than anyone, so listen with your eyes and listen with your ears. And if they don't want to join in, that's okay. You can do these calming practices without your dog, and everyone will still benefit because you will feel calmer. And number 3, relax and enjoy. My guest today is Shelley Mosco, and she's an ACE practitioner and a former researcher, and she's spent years studying how nature can improve our health and happiness and studying how to apply that to everyday life. In this episode, Shelley is combining the whys and the hows into some simple action practices that will help you and your dog to relax and reset. And that's what we like, right? We are all about finding quick and easy ways to feel calmer and more connected. So let's dive in.
Thank you, Steffi, for inviting me to join you here. My name is Shelley Mosco. I'm an ACE practitioner and formerly a research academic in nature-based solutions for health and well-being. Using natural elements or being in nature can help us shift to a calm state. This is an abridged version of a very large topic. My research was on biophilic design principles for health and well-being. Biophilia is a term to describe our innate tendency to seek connections with nature and other life forms as part of our evolution. What sparked my interest was the research by Roger Ulrich, finding that a view of a landscape through a hospital window influenced recovery by reducing stress. So the idea for this presentation was to find things to influence your stress recovery while indoors. Everything in this presentation also translates to dogs. Well, stress is anything that causes physical or emotional tension. Chronic stress leads to poor health and a compromised immune system. So how can we interrupt the fight or flight response and activate the rest and digest response? The nervous system gives us clues that the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions are part of the autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary responses. When not in balance for prolonged periods of time, poor health results. The sympathetic division is where the fight or flight response happens. So adrenaline is released, then organ functions required for the flight are dialed up, and anything that isn't shuts down. So breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and field of vision increases, while digestion and immune responses decrease by simply evoking a memory of something stressful. Your mind returns to the scene and your body reacts as though it's happening for real, all over again. You can't be commanded to calm down, and neither can a fearful dog. The parasympathetic division is where the rest and digest response occurs. You feel safe and relaxed. Messages are delivered by the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve constantly monitors the state of internal organs and communicates this information to the brain, making adjustments that were altered during the fight or flight response. Visual and sensory connections with nature help to interrupt the memory of a stressful event and switch to the rest and digest response. Well, these are examples of different landscape views. Make a mental note of any preferences you have. And what do you like about it? A visual connection to nature engages the parasympathetic division by reducing stress, heart rate, blood pressure, and promoting positive emotions and associated hormones. These images each stimulate different parts of the brain. So mountain views are a mental escape and a proportional perspective, being able to breathe. Animal images are a direct connection with other living beings and stimulate feelings of empathy, enabling perspective. Forest images also evoke our connection to other life forms and stimulate calming hormones. Open spaces are a form of decluttering for the mind. Water is calming and evokes hormones that make us feel happy and tranquil. So, even if you can't get outside when you're feeling a little stressed, take a few moments and look at your favorite landscape image. Your body will respond to the memory of it, even if you've never been there. These are examples of sensory connections that can be accessed indoors. To the parasympathetic division, touch. Holding a pebble engages sensory nerves in your fingers and hand. If you don't have a pebble, use anything, even your thumb pressing into your palm. So note how it feels, temperature, weight, size, etc. Scent. The example here of lavender explains how chemical compounds in plants affect your brain and nervous system through sense of smell. You could use essential oils, but do be aware that our dogs and other pets have an acute sense of smell. Make sure they have an escape route. Sound. This could be sounds from nature, such as recordings of rain falling, ocean waves, birdsong, or even a cat purring. The repetitive sound and particular frequency activates the parasympathetic division. This is something you can try later. So breathe and focus on your favorite landscape image. By engaging two different areas of your brain at the same time, so visual and sensory, it will enhance the calming effect. Little tip, try increasing the time you connect with this and monitor changes in your heart rate. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope this gives you an idea of how to return to calm by using nature. Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? I'm going to be trying that for sure. I love the idea of looking at an image of my favourite beach whilst holding onto a pebble. Thank you so much, Shelley. And thank you, dear listener, for joining us on this episode of the Shouty Barky Dog-Cast. Shelley and I would love to hear your thoughts, so do drop a comment on the podcast or join in the conversation on the Shouty Barky Dog group, and that's over on Facebook. And that's where you can connect with other listeners, you can share your experiences, and you can get support from a community of caregivers. The link's in the show notes. If you found this episode helpful and you want to learn more, Shelley's contact details and some additional resources are also in the show notes. And I would love it if you could share this episode with someone else who you think might benefit too, because every podcast share helps to spread the message. Until next time, take a deep breath, enjoy a moment of nature, and keep building those calm and happy connections with your dog. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.